Sonic the Hedgehog, probably one of the most iconic video game characters of all time. From video games, to comics, to cartoons, to even...
God, I fucking hate that hedgehog! That hedgehog should have died! Sonic the Hedgehog must die! Sonic the Hedgehog was never good!
I am never doing that ever again. Anyways, welcome back to the road to Sonic Frontiers. Today we'll be reviewing the next game in the franchise, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Probably one of the most beloved Sonic games and video games in general of all time. But why exactly is this game so loved? Why exactly did this game make such a huge impact to the entire franchise? And how did this game lead to the existence of Pingas? Well, those are going to be the questions we'll be answering today. And since Sonic Frontiers and the Sonic 2 movie digitally are both coming out real soon, I think it's about time I review Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The year was 1991. Sonic the Hedgehog was released on the 23rd of June and proved to be the success Sega hoped for, not only excelling extremely well but solidifying the brand to be up there with Nintendo. So Sega was immediately on board to create a sequel to Sonic 1. However, Yuji Naka, the creator of Sonic, ran into multiple issues with the management of Sega of Japan. Reasons include the higher-ups were not happy with how everything turned out, and the disagreements about the amount of time spent programming the game. Because of this, Yuji Naka left Sega of Japan to work with STI, the Sega Technical Institute, all the way over to America. So Yuji Naka with his newfound team at STI began working on Sonic 2. During early production of the game, one of the first ideas the team brought to the table was that they wanted a new main character to be introduced. Yuji Naka even said that in the first Sonic the Hedgehog he wanted to implement a two-player mode but couldn't due to time constraints. Thus, an internal company competition was made to introduce the brand new character for Sonic 2. There were multiple designs submitted such as Boomer the Turtle. You could flip him around, you could push him for like speed and stuff, give him fucking life support, watch him die of old age. But one design topped all of them, just like the Blue Blur himself. Designed by Yasui Yamaguchi, that character was named Miles Prower. Surprisingly, Tails' first name was not Tails, it was Miles Prower, which, might I add, is miles better than ugly Maurice the Hedgehog. However, the team wanted to change the character's name to Tails to make it more simplistic, but Yamaguchi managed to sneak the original name in concept art and in the game, which, yeah, I'm happy he did. The pun is generally clever and yeah, it's a bit stupid, but I love it nevertheless. And I've also really liked the name Miles. It's definitely these two. Just like Sonic, I would say Tails' design is also really good too. The same things I can say about Sonic still applies to Tails. For example, if we use the old-fashioned silhouette technique, both characters can be easily identified through their special traits. For Sonic, it's its spikes and unique head and body shape, and for Tails, it's two tails. One thing I also like about Tails is the color of his fur. Now, that may sound weird, but the reason why I like it is because it goes really well with Sonic's blue, as blue and orange are both complementary colors, showing an immediate bond between the two. Complementary colors are also used in other characters too, like Mario, Luigi, Spider-Man, and the Green Goblin, so it's quite clever character design. Aside from Sonic, Tails has also been one of my favorite characters. Out of Sonic's wide cast of characters, he's always been there. Even in the games without some major core characters like Knuckles or Amy, Tails has always been there beside Sonic's side. which shows that he's arguably as important to the franchise as Sonic and Eggman. Not to mention, his abilities work really well with the gameplay. His character design matched with Sonic and was extremely marketable. I mean, look at this shit. Alright, moving on. Like Sonic 1, Sonic 2 also has different box arts in different countries. Firstly is the American cover, and I have to say, this right here is iconic. One of the most famous video game box arts of all time. For Sonic 2 the movie, they even recreated the box art from here. First time I saw this, my inner Sonic fan just came out, just completely just busted. This is just downright cool, and a bit sad that the Sonic 2 posters are somehow better than every MCU poster, especially some of the Spider-Man ones. I mean, bruh. What the fuck is this? Why is Tony Stark combusting in flames? I don't like the way Jake Gyllenhaal is looking at me, man. This is the most basic shit ever. In all seriousness, I think I was a bit too harsh on Greg Martin in my last video. I do think Japanese Sonic is definitely better, but the proof can't be denied that his artwork is simply iconic and contributed to Sonic's success as a franchise. Keep in mind, people back in the day didn't have YouTube or Metacritic to tell if a game was good or not. Everything depended on the cover, so thanks Martin, you did a damn good job. And of course, there's the Japan cover, which is mostly the same as the Sonic 1 cover. Still like the visuals and all, but I have to say, I do prefer the American one. Probably because it's more drastically different from the first Sonic cover, and it just looks really cool. I still don't give a fuck about Europe, bitch! Like the Sonic 1 video, I want to talk about my personal history with Sonic 2. The first time I've ever played it was through the Sonic Classic Collection in the Nintendo DS. I don't have too much memories of playing it, but a version of the game I do remember is the Christian Whitehead port on mobile. I remember playing the game fondly, even more than Sonic 1, even though I would always get stuck in that water bit in Chemical Plant Zone Act 2, but I kept on replaying the game over and over again. Jump forward to 2021, I decided to replay all the classic Sonic games since I haven't replayed them for years, and I've actually never finished them surprisingly. I was always more of a modern kind of guy, but the first time I ever finished Sonic 2, I instantly fell in love with it. After finishing the game, I finished it again with Tails, finished it with Knuckles. I even collected all the Chaos Emeralds in every single playthrough. I love Sonic 2. Apart from Mania, it is one of my most replayed Sonic games and video games ever. I can't even count how many times I've finished this game start to finish. It's just that great. Oh wait, I just realized I spoiled my entire video before even getting to the review. Plot! Trust me, these segments are going to be way more interesting as the games go on. Likely for the worst.
Oh! Ew! What the fuck?
The story takes place in West Side Island. Miles tells Prower, a fox who has the ability to fly with his two tails, sees his hero Sonic the Hedgehog. Tails then, using his instincts, manages to catch up to Sonic. Sonic, being impressed by this, then allows Tails to hang out with him. But the Mad Doctor is up to no good again. He captures all Sonic's friends and turns them into his robot slaves, but this time Robotnik wants more. He plans to take over his world and build his ultimate weapon, the Death Egg. But to take over the world, he must collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, so it's up to Sonic and Tails to free all of their friends, collect all the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and stop Robotnik for once and for all. For once and for all. For once and for all. Oh, damn! You fine as hell! Finally, onto the game. Alright, so just think of this game as just basically Sonic 1, but just everything is expanded and improved on. And you get Sonic 2. I mean, I like Sonic 1, but Sonic 2 absolutely demolishes it in every single category. Sonic 2 this time has 11 new zones. These stages include Emerald Hill, Chemical Plant, Aquatic Ruin, Casino Night, Hilltop, Mystic Cave, Oil Ocean, Metropolis, Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, and the Death Egg. Though instead of 3 acts, there are only now 2 acts, which in my opinion definitely improves the pacing. Sonic controls about the same as Sonic 1. You can roll, jump, move left and right. Basically everything you could do in Sonic 1 you can do here. However, Sonic now has a new ability called the Spin Dash. Press down, spam a button in your controller, release, and Sonic will instantly take off. The Spin Dash is easily one of Sonic's best moves in his entire arsenal. Not only is it a signature move, but it's so fun and useful to use. Fun fact, Tails actually invented the Spin Dash. Speaking of Tails, he's your sidekick and helps Sonic by collecting rings, hitting badniks, and helping out during boss fights. And, you know, you can always try to kill him. Ha, stupid bitch.
My back! Oh, my back!
Tails is quite useful in this game, except when you're trying to do the special stages. I'll get to that later. In addition, Sonic 2 also adds a variety of new modes and options. In the options screen, you can choose to play Sonic and Tails, Sonic alone, or Tails alone. But keep in mind, Tails is just a reskinned Sonic and sadly can't fly, which kind of bugs me out since there is already an animation for him flying. Hell, he can do it when playing as Sonic and Tails. Anyways, you can also select 2-player versus mode where you could play as either Sonic or Tails and race your friend to the end of the level. Even though the format screen is weird, it's still incredibly impressive considering the limited technology at the time. Finally, the last option is the sound test, where you can play multiple songs from the Sonic 2 soundtrack. Previously, the sound test was kept behind a secret code in Sonic 1, but now it's made more accessible through the options screen. Something I forgot to mention in my last Sonic 1 review was debug mode, which is basically a mode that allows you to spawn multiple items, enemies, and obstacles anywhere you want. So basically Mario Maker before Mario Maker. I don't spend too much time on debug mode, but it's still a really fun feature by the developers. I honestly love these types of add-ons in video games. This and cheat codes just have some certain charm to them that most modern games don't have. Other than that, most of the other stuff are basically the same as the first game. Rings work the same way, lives work the same way, the item boxes are the same, you get the point. Now on to my favorite bit about this game. The levels. The levels in Sonic 2 are simply amazing. Every single thing about them, from the level design, the gimmicks, the music, the backgrounds, everything just comes together perfectly, creating a fun, fast-paced level. Something you may notice about Sonic 2 is that it is way more faster than Sonic 1. The reason for this is that the speed cap is removed from Sonic 2, allowing Sonic to move as fast as possible. Plus, the level design is greatly improved on. Long are the days for waiting for chandeliers to drop. Sonic 2's level design has a clear emphasis on speed. If Sonic 1 felt like a normal platforming game with some speed included in it, Sonic 2 feels like a Sonic game. Let me explain. Emerald Hill Zone, a great opening level for Sonic 2. Everything good about Green Hill Zone still applies to this stage. Its presentation is absolutely gorgeous. I love how good this zone looks. Honestly, the environments and world this game has is just so great. The ideas here are so much more creative and fun. From giant casinos to a big space egg, Sonic 2 has a great world and feels in line for a franchise that includes a blue fast hedgehog and a two-tailed fox who can fly. In my opinion, I prefer the more fantasy wacky levels of Sonic compared to the more realistic ones. I just feel like there's more ideas and gimmicks to be had with a more crazier looking level than a more grounded and down to earth stage. Back to Emerald Hill. I love the amount of color here. Seriously, Sonic 2 has to be one of the best looking games on the Genesis, because my god, the sprite art here is amazing. The level design here is like Green Hill. It teaches you the mechanics of the game. Of course, you have your loops and slopes for you to gain speed and momentum, but new to the table are corkscrews. They basically work the same as loops, you just need to gain enough momentum to be able to run through it. These and loops help the player to understand Sonic's momentum-based gameplay. Alongside this are the amount of awards here too. You see, Sonic levels should always have a balance between these three things: speed, platforming, and exploration. And I think Sonic 2 nails this. There's tons of little secrets to be found in this level, from item boxes, rings, and checkpoints. What I love about the exploration in this game is that it can extend levels from just 1 minute to 4 minutes. I enjoy exploring the levels and just trying to get tons of rings to find the next checkpoint. It's very rewarding and it just makes me appreciate the game's level design even more. Something I also appreciate too is the music composed by Masato Nakamura, returning from the first game. Sadly, this was his last time composing for a Sonic game, but he absolutely went out with a bang. Sonic 2's soundtrack is amazing, so many memorable bangers. Honestly, I find myself humming along to the music. At the end of Act 2, there's a boss against Robotnik, which is pretty straightforward, just avoid his grill and attack his head. It's okay for a first boss fight, but Sonic 1's first boss fight felt more memorable to me. Though I do like the design for the boss, it definitely looks cool. Chemical Plant Zone. Arguably one of the most iconic stages in not only Sonic 2 but the entire franchise. Chemical Plant Zone is great. It's my second favorite zone in the game, and it's mostly other people's favorite zone in the game too. Let's just talk about the presentation in this stage, and I mean, my god, I know I already said this before, but let me emphasize, Sonic 2's environments and world are great. I love how this zone looks. Seriously, there are so many interesting themes and ideas here. The stage is about a factory built by Robotnik filled with enemies, high-speed slopes, warp tube, pink water, while being set in a kind of futuristic setting with tall skyscrapers in the background. I love the level design and gimmicks in this stage. One thing I definitely enjoy is the amount of speed you can gain in this level. Seriously, up to this point, this has been the most fastest Sonic has ever been in a game. It's to the point where sometimes the camera can't even catch up to Sonic. New additions to this stage are also warp tubes and dash panels. For warp tubes, these things can take you to different places, showing you different alternate paths, sometimes awarding you. Dash panels are here to keep your speed up without breaking the immersion of going fast to players. Also something introduced is the pink water, which... It's okay. So this bit here was the nightmare of every child playing this game, including me, but nowadays I can go through this bit without even touching the water. Hell, there's methods to even skip this part entirely. But you can't talk about Chemical Plant without mentioning the music. Easily the best track in this game. Casino Night Zone is up there, but nevertheless, Chemical Plant Zone is just catchy as all hell. Definitely Nakamura's best song for the two Sonic games he composed for. Seriously, the man absolutely killed it, and that Sonic Mania stage absolutely perfection. One thing I must mention is how much really is in this stage. Act 1, to be fair, is pretty short, but Act 2 just feels right with its length. Seriously, props to Hirokazu Yasuhara for the level design in this game. Keep in mind that Sonic games are quite hard to design, mainly because of how fast Sonic is. If you make a stage too basic and too fast, it becomes too easy and short. But if you make a long stage, it kind of drags and kills the pacing. Honestly, Sonic 2's length just feels right. It's actually pretty sad that this game has longer, more fun stages than Forces. Of course, there's a boss at the end of Act 2 which everyone who has played this game has 100% accidentally fallen to their death immediately here. And immediately kick this boss's ass. I mean, you can literally kill this boss before he even lands his first hit. Next up is Aquatic Ruin Zone, the main water level of the game. And trust me, this stage is no labyrinth zone, but not quite a Hybrosity zone. Right off the bat, the music here is great as always. It sounds atmospheric and perfectly fits the level. What I love about Sonic 2's soundtrack is that every song always fits the stage and tone. From the jazzy fun times of Casino Night Zone to the intense intimidating tone of the Death Egg robot. Each song feels unique and serves its own purpose. Now about Aquatic Ruin. The appearance of alternate routes is heavily present in this level. You see, if you stay at the top, you'll never even get to the water bits of the level, but if you go to the bottom of the level, you'll be mainly underwater. But unlike Leopard Zone, this stage still has a good balance of the three main factors to make a good Sonic stage. The underwater segments in this stage aren't too bad actually. It's not like it will make you scream at the top of your lungs. The boss at the end of Act 2 is easy, just easy. I like the idea, but you can easily take down Robotnik using this method. Overall, Aquatic Ruin is quite a good zone. Pretty quick, but it's definitely better than Labyrinth Zone. Casino Night Zone is up next, and this zone is fucking perfection. Out of all the classic Sonic games and even modern games, this zone has to be one of my favorite Sonic stages of all time. Honestly, there are so many things I can gush about this stage. For starters, this stage started the trend of casino themed levels in Sonic games. Without this level, we wouldn't have Casinoopolis, Casino Park, Bingo Highway, Studiopolis, and many other iconic casino stages in the franchise. Now let's talk about the new ideas and gimmick Casino Night Zone brings to the table. Out of all the levels in Sonic 2, Casino Night feels the most unique and special. You see, Casino Night takes multiple elements of games in casinos, including massive slot machines and pinball machines. There is never a dull moment in this stage because of how much there really is. It's insanely fun just to mess around and spend minutes just trying to get a jackpot, and then ultimately get punished for like the 50th time. Like real life. Just kidding, Sonic Anyway, something I have to say is that out of all the zones in Sonic 2, Casino Night is definitely the best looking stage in this game, and that's a high bar to beat. Honestly, all these levels in the game look great, but come on, I love the amount of colors used here. The overall stage is inspired by Las Vegas, from the bright neon lights to the tall skyscrapers in the background. This zone is brimming with personality. Let's not forget about the music too. It's fantastic. I love the vibes from the song. It gives off a very free and happy feeling, which is very reminiscent of Sonic's character. Definitely one of my favorite songs from this soundtrack. I do think Chemical Plant is a bit better, but I still love this theme. There's a boss at the end of Act 2, and I must say this is probably one of the best bosses in this game. Not the best, but I liked how they took the flippers and bouncers from the stage and required you, the player, to use them to your advantage. It's clever and for sure makes for a good, memorable boss fight. Next up is Hilltop Zone, a stage that takes place high above the clouds in a mountainous region. It's pretty good. The stage somewhat looks similar to Emerald Hill, but there are a few changes such as the background showing clouds and high mountains. And for the level design, there are a lot of things different here. For starters, the seesaws from Starlight Zone are here. They basically work the same way as they did from Sonic 1. And most importantly, in some segments, lava appears and rises up. It's a pretty neat stage mechanic and makes platforming more engaging, requiring skill and exploration to do well. Or, you know, you can have an invincibility shield like most people. The music is good. The boss, however... Do I need to explain more? Off the hilltop comes Mystic Cave, another really great zone. The platforming here is really fun, and the level design here too is also really great. The stage feels huge while not dragging on for far too long. There's multiple levers here that can open up new paths for the player to explore through, offering different various paths to make each playthrough exciting and fresh. The visuals here are also really great too. The green crystals with the purple stones go really well with each other, creating a really great underground themed level. The music here also slaps. It has a really great funky Halloweeny vibe to it, making it one of the best tracks in this OST. The boss here is alright, you just have to avoid his drills. You can likely take this boss out by brute forcing it with your invincibility frames, but if you accidentally die, this boss is a nightmare. You have 0 rings and you have to avoid all of his attacks. During one of my playthroughs of this game, this happened to me and almost all of my lives were gone. Overall, it's an okay boss fight. Next up is Oil Ocean Zone, a polluted factory filled with oil owned by Robotnik. As the name implies, this zone has oil, and I mean lots. The entirety of the bottom is filled with oil, and if you sink in it for far too long, you'll drown. There are also segments where you can slide in the oil, similar to Labyrinth Zone. A cool stage gimmick this zone has is that Sonic can go into cannons, allowing him to go back and forth through the zone. The boss at the end of Act 2 is basically just an improved version of the Hilltop boss fight. This time you have to avoid Robotnik's harpoon and lasers, but it's still a relatively easy boss fight. Coming near to the end of the game comes Metropolis Zone, the last real zone of this game, with this time 3 acts. This level is basically the equivalent of Sonic 2's Scrap Brain Zone, putting everything you know about this game to the test. This level will seriously kick your ass, and I mean it. The first time I played this game, I had legitimate trouble trying to beat this stage. The enemy placement here is really unfair. Honestly, all these badniks are a pain in the ass to deal with. Cell Crackers have an annoying ass hitbox, and this bit right here followed up with the spike will always annoy the living hell out of me. The Slicers too are also annoying. When you least expect them, they just come out of nowhere and attack you, and it really sucks, especially when controlling a character that's main gimmick is that he's fast. You just can't see any of the enemies coming, and in my opinion, the worst offender are definitely the Asterons. These little guys cause me so much trouble. There are segments in the stage where you have to control these little metal nuts up and down, and when I first played the game, this part here made me so fucking mad. Not gonna lie, I used to really hate this zone. But now, I actually think it's a bit too overrated. Like, sure, it is definitely still hard, and the enemy placement for sure is cheap, but there is fun to be had in this zone. For starters, the music here is great obviously, and scenery here is also really good too. The platforming especially provides a hard and good challenge to players, and in my opinion, I actually like it. It overwhelms you with lots of hazards, making platforming feel more rewarding and engaging. But I have to agree with some people. Why does this zone have 3 acts? There is an answer to this which I'll explain later on in the video, but having 3 acts in a game with mostly 2 acts just make this zone drag on for far too long. And for new time players, it sucks. The boss is pretty clever. Robotnik covers himself with 7 drones. Hitting one of them causes one of the drones to turn into a little Robotnik. Hit it and repeat the process, and then you beat him. I already explained it before, invincibility frames make these bosses way too easy. After that, the next stage is Sky Chase Zone. A lot of people seem to agree that after the hell that was a Metropolis Zone, Sky Chase was a nice change of pace. Though I don't mind Metropolis Zone, I think Sky Chase is alright. It's a pretty easy side-scroller level, accompanying it with really great relaxing music too. The overall level isn't anything to awe at, since all you have to do is just avoid enemies or hit enemies. And Sonic, that turtle can't fly. Sonic, you're fucking 20,000 feet above land, Sonic! Sonic! Up next is Wing Fortress. After Sky Chase, Tails gets attacked by Robotnik's lasers, crashing the tornado down, meaning that it's up to you to bring down Robotnik. This stage, while not nearly as difficult as Metropolis, tests the player's platforming abilities. Without Tails, Sonic is left more vulnerable, meaning from here on out, things get more harder. Or more easy if you hate the little bastard. There are a lot of bottomless pits here and hey, get the fuck out, you fucking... I can't stay mad at Dims. They did make Sonic Rush after all. But then again, they made Sonic 4, so A lot of the platforming here are leaps of faith. If you fail, you die. But it's not too frustrating, and if you're kinda... There is a handy shortcut you can take here. The boss here is... You can complete what I'm about to say. Look, I'm not gonna write the same shit again for the 11th time. Alright, if you ever played the original Sonic 2, you know how everyone feels about these fucking special stages. But for context, if you collect 50 rings and pass a checkpoint, the checkpoint starts to shine. Jump into one of them and you go into a special stage. Now compared to Sonic 1, these special stages are a lot more interesting. These stages take place in a pseudo 3D half-pipe. The objective is to collect a certain amount of rings, collect the right amount and continue on again for about 2 times. If you successfully manage to succeed, you get one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Now, what exactly is the problem here? These special stages are a major, and I mean major, pain in the ass. The first few are fine. I had a few troubles with the third one, but for the most part they're good. You see, the concept of the half pipe is good, and it's been done right in other games such as Sonic Rush. I actually prefer the half pipe over the Sonic 1 special stages, but every stage of the third Chaos Emeralds is a complete nightmare. Let me explain. You see, normally in Sonic 2, you play as Sonic. Accompanying you is Tails. Now, in these special stages, Tails joins with you. Doesn't seem too bad, right? But then again, you take into account that there's a delay in Tails' movement, and there's bombs in the stage, and then you fuck! Tails is a massive problem in these special stages. Not only you have to be cautious of Sonic and his rings, you also need to keep out for Tails too. Not only that, the stage is also another problem. You can't see far away rings, and when the stage moves in a different direction, you won't know what's ahead of you. Maybe it's rings, maybe it's bombs, maybe it's Old Man Harold from the dirty-ass public toilets you went to a few minutes ago. Okay, I may be exaggerating a bit here, but these special stages are definitely badly designed. The concept and idea is good, but the overall execution could have been handled way better. However, if you collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you'll be greeted with Super Sonic, the ultimate reward. Sonic 2 was the first ever game to introduce Super Sonic, and since its first appearance has impacted the series through the gameplay and story. I love Super Sonic. It's honestly such a sick inclusion to Sonic's arsenal of abilities, and is a main staple to the franchise. Even though the special stages are an absolute nightmare to go through, I'd honestly say it's worth it just for Super Sonic. You gain massive amounts of speed and jump height, you're invincible to almost everything, and it just looks sick. Even though you're insanely overpowered as Super Sonic, the game is so incredibly fun, which just goes to show how incredible the level design is in this game. Now back to Wing Fortress. After you defeat the boss, Sonic catches up to Robotnik and makes his way into the Death Egg, the final zone of Sonic 2, and Robotnik's ultimate plan to take over the world. In the Death Egg zone, you are immediately greeted by Silver Sonic, the first of 2 bosses in this zone. Like Sonic 1, you have 0 rings, meaning that you can't take advantage of your invincibility frames, which was a main problem I had with many classic Sonic bosses, but not with this boss. During your first few tries, this guy can seriously mess you up. Even though I played this game multiple times, there have been a few occasions where I accidentally mess up my timing. It's a good boss that you can't cheat in and have to time your attacks correctly and memorize his patterns. But if you're like me, I prefer to take the more riskier route and try to finish him off as fast as possible. The more you understand this boss, the more easier it is. But that's not all Robotnik has. In a last-ditch effort, the Mad Doctor brings out his most powerful machine yet, the Death Egg Robot, the true final boss of this game. The thing about this boss is a step up from the final boss of Sonic 1. It's more intimidating, more challenging, and truly shows off Robotnik's genius and power. And most of all, feels like a true final battle. He attacks the player with arm rockets and grenades. Not to mention, he also flies off screen and stomps on the player, making the boss way more interesting than the final boss of Sonic 1. I mean, just look at the design of these two. It's clear which boss is better. And so after 12 hits, Sonic takes down the Death Egg Robot, but with it, the Death Egg comes crashing down too. Tails sees this from below and gets on the tornado and flies to the sky. And when it seems like Sonic is falling to his death, Tails comes and saves him with sweet dreams playing in the background, before ending off with both characters posing for the camera. Of course, if you collect all the 7 Chaos Emeralds, this scene is changed with Super Sonic instead, but I honestly prefer the ending if you didn't collect all the 7 Chaos Emeralds. It's a really sweet, heartwarming ending which shows the friendship between Sonic and Tails. And the song that plays along with it, Sweet Dreams, is a really great track and fits the scene of Sonic and Tails' friendship perfectly. Now after 11 zones, many bosses, and 7 Chaos Emeralds collected, what is my final verdict on Sonic 2? This game is amazing. This game is one of Sega's best games by far and is my 5th favorite Sonic game of all time. I love almost everything about this game. I love the level design, I love the creativity, I love the new ideas it brought to the table, I love the soundtrack. Not to mention, this game is so iconic and important to not only the franchise, not only to Sega, but to the video game industry. Without this game, we would never have Sonic 3, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic 06, and all the mainline entries in the Sonic franchise. And I'm absolutely serious that this game influenced so many other games that came after it. From the OST, from the characters, from the levels, and from the story. Not only that, this game influenced the other medias in Sonic, from the movie to the cartoons. Without inclusion of Tails, we wouldn't have the adventures of Sonic and Tails, or the Sonic 2 movie. And without the Death Egg Robot, we wouldn't have the Sonic 2 movie as well. I could go on and on about how this game is so important. And sir, this game has its fair share of problems. The bosses are too simple and easy, and the special stages are just unfair. Especially the special stages. But in the Christian Whitehead port in mobile, the special stages are finally fixed and are rendered in 3D. And I must say, I love these special stages. They're way more fun now, and don't nearly have the same problems as I had with the original version. Plus, everything about the port in general is just great. It's in widescreen 60 FPS, adds Knuckles as a playable character, adds multiple save files, and most importantly, adds one of the scrap levels of Sonic 2 and makes it a playable stage, which might I add is fucking awesome. The development of Sonic 2 actually goes far more deeper. Apparently, the game was actually supposed to be 2 times longer than it actually was. The scrap levels included Wood Zone, Sand Sour Zone, and Genocide City Zone. Jesus Christ! Sadly, the reason why Metropolis Zone has 3 acts is because Genocide City was scrapped. In addition, the game was actually going to have a time travel gimmick with 5 different time periods to travel to, which is actually a really interesting idea. Honestly, there is so much to talk about Sonic 2's long development history, but for the purpose of this video, I kept it relatively short. And even scrapping so many ideas and levels, Sonic 2 still manages to be amazing. I adore this game, and it's one of my personal favorite Sonic games. And so, for that reason, this game deserves to be an S tier. But what exactly happened to the scrap time travel gimmick? Seems too good of an idea to leave behind, right? Naoto Oshima had the same thought, and for the next Sonic game, he made